In this project, we'll build a web scraper that is going to scrape data from a real estate website. So in this project, we'll learn concepts like beautiful soup and request, and we will learn many more concepts. So see you in the project. Hello everyone and welcome back. Now from this video, we'll start working with the projects. So our first project is going to be collecting the data from web with Python, and we will be using the Python libraries for it. So before getting started, let's see what we are going to learn from this particular project. So first we will look at what is data science lifecycle. What exactly is data science? And what is the life cycle they follow for their projects? What are the sources of data collection, as data scientists need to work with lot of data? Where does this web scraping fit into the picture of this data science life cycle? What are the different applications of web scraping apart from your data science? Understanding basic web structure of the website from which you are going to scrape your data. Then we will get to know about the Chrome developers tool through which we will locate our tags and we will scrape our data. Then we will look at the libraries that are there in Python for performing web scraping tasks. Okay, so let's see the data science life cycle first of all. So first of all, you must have a business understanding so that you can define a problem that you want to solve. Okay, so you must have a business understanding. Let's say if you are working for any bank, then you should know how the bank functions, right? You must have their business understanding, how they process the customer, how they grant the loan, what are the defaulters, non-defaulters, how you classify them, and all that, right? So you must have a business understanding. Now, after you define your problem statement, for example, you want to identify your potential customer and also you want to identify, let's say, defaulters. In that case, this becomes your problem statement, right? Now for that, you need to analyze a lot of data. You require a lot of data so that you can analyze them and you can find out who are going to be your potential customer, or even if you are working for your who should be granted loan or not. In that case, also you need a lot of data so that you can analyze them and you can tell your team, right? So we require a lot of data, right? So that brings you to this data collection process. Now here, in your data collection, the data might be stored in the repositories. Your organization might have a database where they are storing the data, right? Or you can collect the data from some open repository like Kaggle or data.gov and your UCI machine learning repository and all, right? Then you prepare your data. Then you go for exploratory data analysis. Now in data preparation, you remove unwanted records, unwanted noises and everything. Then you analyze your data, you build your model, then you perform the model evaluation, how well your model is working, and you deploy it in the wild so that it can be used in real time, right? Now here we will just talk about your data collection. Now let's say your data is not stored in your database, and also you don't find any open repositories from where you can collect your data for your particular project, right? In that case, you go to Google, you just search for it, right? And you find a website where you exactly find the data that you are looking for to solve your business problem, right? In that case, what you are going to do? Are you going to manually copy and paste each and every record? No, that will be time consuming. It will take you weeks, even months to manually copy and paste each and every data, right? In that case, you need to automate that task. So here, to automate that task, we will use web scraping, and that's what we are going to cover here. Okay, now let's talk about what is primary and secondary sources of data. So the primary sources of data are the data that are collected firsthand. You are going to collect that data all by yourself. That is not present on the web, neither you are using someone else's data. You prepare your own survey, your own observation, your own questionnaires, and you perform your own experiments. That is your primary source of data. What is secondary source? So secondary sources of data are the data that already exist. Like your open source platforms, they provide your data, right? Internal databases, there are certain APIs that provide you the data. Then the web scraping also comes under your secondary sources of data. And there are many more examples. Now, what exactly is web scraping? So web scraping is just a process of extracting the data from website. You can extract any data from any website using your web scraping, and it becomes easy for you to perform this web scraping using Python. So there are different libraries in Python, but here we will talk about just two libraries and we'll see what are they. So it is a process of automating extraction of data and storing it in structured tables like your CSV file, Excel file, or SQL databases, right? So this is your web scraping. What are the application of web scraping other than data science? So for sure we have this huge application in data science, right? To collect the data for building any model, for performing any analysis, we need data, right? Also, apart from your data science, there is also requirement of web scraping in competitive price tracking. For example, you want to track the price of your competitor, what are their products, how much they are charging for them, so that you can make your product, you can price your product accordingly, right? You can sell your product on the accurate price, less than or at their price, right? So it also helps you in competitor analysis, where you collect the data regularly about your competitor so that you can analyze their data and you can change your own policies accordingly. Also in market research, real estate pricing, journalism, and there are many more applications of this web scraping. Now, you need to understand the basic web structure first to be able to extract any information from the website. So here we have this, let's say this is our information that is present on our website. This is our information, okay? So we have hello world, shoot for the moon, even if you fail, you will land among the stars, and thanks for tuning in for the session. So this is the information that is there on the website. Now, in order to extract this information, you need to know the source code and the different tags through which you can extract this data. For example, here if you see, this is the source code of this information which is present on certain website, let's say, right? So you have HTML, head, body, div, T, then again you have P tag. We call these as P tags, or not P tags, we call them as tags. So some are parent and child tags, and we'll talk about them. So you need to find the source code. How you are going to find the source code, right? So we will see that as well using your Chrome Developers tool. Now, let me give you an example. So let's say we have this website here. Let me open this simple website here. Okay, so here we have hello coordinate stars, shoot for the moon, even if you fail, you will land among the stars, right? So this is the information that is being displayed. Now, in order to get to this source code, you need to do a right click. Then go to inspect. And here you will see that you are getting all this source code. So I have written it myself. If you want to look at the source code, here, this is the source code for this website. It is very easy. So everything is going to be under your HTML tag. Then we have body, right? Then we have body, then we have head. Inside head, we have title, welcome to Codename. So this is our title over here, right? So this is our title. And we call these as tags. So we have body, inside body we have this div. So div here is a parent tag. H1 and H2 here are your child tag of this div parent tag. Okay. So here, if I move my mouse on my H2 tag here, you'll see that it is highlighting certain section of our website, right? So it is, if I take it to H1, it is highlighting to Hello Codename Star. If I take it to H2, it is highlighting to Shoot for the Moon. Even if you fail, you will land among the stars. So that's it. That's all we need to know. If you know the tag name in which the data is present, it becomes really easy for you to scrap this information, and we will see that. Okay, so I hope you have got a basic understanding of your web structures, right? So we have body. Inside this body, it is highlighting everything. Inside this div tag, if you see, it is highlighting this section, Hello Codename Star Shoot for the Moon, right? Then if I move to H1, it is just highlighting this Hello Codename Star. So our information, Hello Codename Star, is present inside our H1 tag. Then we have H2 tag, right? So this is your basic web structure. And this div tag is the parent tag of H1 and H2. So that's all we have here on the slide, right? So here we have some other information. So we have, first of all, we have HTML, right? Inside HTML, then we have body. Inside this body, we have this two child tag, that is one division div tag and one p tag, right? So in p tag, we have thanks for tuning in for this session. And here inside this division tag, we have hello world, and this p tag, we have shoot for the moon. Even if you fail, you will land among this stuff. So just remember this hierarchy. It will be useful when we go for web scraping. Now, what are the Python libraries that you can use for performing web scraping? So there are many libraries. You have Request, Beautiful Soup, Selenium, Scrapy. But here we'll talk about the basic two, that are Request and Beautiful Soup. And using these two libraries, we'll perform our web scraping task. Okay, so this is all about your introduction. Now, how does this web scraping work? So what we do is, whenever you are going to your browser and typing something, that means you are making a request to that website, right? And in response, you get your information, or they respond to you through the query that you have put in, right? So here we will make use of request library for that, for making a request to that website. Then we are going to locate and find the desired data using our tags, using our different tags in which our data might be present. Then we will scrap those information and store the data in some tables. Now anything from the website can be scraped. That does not mean that you should scrap each and everything that is present there. You should read about their terms of use and their policies, right? So here, just because you can scrape any website, it doesn't mean you should. If you are using that, if you are doing that, you should take the permission, or you should mention that it is not going to be used for your commercial purpose. This is just for your academic purpose. Read the terms of use policy before scrapping any website, so that you don't get into any legal implications. Okay, so that's it for your introduction.
I hope you have enjoyed watching it. If you have liked our content, please do hit like button and do subscribe to our YouTube channel for more useful content and exciting updates. If you want to learn such practical content at an affordable cost with Microsoft certification and instructor support, please register at academy.codenan.com. You can also download app from Play Store as Codenan. Never hesitate to raise queries in the comment section, and please do reply with your suggestions for more practical videos. We'll be happy to come up with it. Thank you.